Hi, welcome back to Ruby's Room. It's my show on the web, part of the BBC Headroom campaign, where each week I talk about another mental health issue. This week we're talking about social anxiety. Now, it's the second most common anxiety disorder after panic attacks, and it usually happens in your early teens. Some of the symptoms include being fearful of meeting people or social situations. Now, you might also avoid shopping, can you believe it, or talking on the phone. If it's really extreme, you cut yourself off from people in the outside world. Hi, Tom, my usual.
Yeah, of course, Ruby. No problem.
How did you think you had social anxiety?
I found out on the radio station.
All right.
Yeah.
They said you've got social anxiety.
Right. Well, they said, do you feel awkward in group situations, etc.? You may have social anxiety. All the symptoms matched why.
What did they say the symptoms were?
Blushing, sweating, dry mouth, heart palpitations, sweaty palms, avoidant personality, basically avoiding social situation.
Besides outside, you can't talk to people. What happens inside?
I remember at one point when I was living in Bristol, I was too frightened to go and look for a job. I would go out, force myself to go out because I needed to earn money. And then if I went to approach a job agency or something, I'd look through the window. I'd try and plan in my head what I was going to say before I went in. And then I'd work myself up so much, and then I wouldn't end up going in. I'd go home, beat myself up mentally and say, oh, you're stupid, you're worthless, why are you like this?
When you have social anxiety, it can be a vicious circle. So you feel tense, and then you start blushing and sweating, and then you feel even more tense. So to break this cycle, you should maybe concentrate on a conversation. You don't have to join in it, but just concentrate. Or concentrate on your breathing, just going in and going out and slow it up, because you can't be anxious and concentrate on something at the same time. Or else keep a journal just to keep track of what you're thinking and feeling. Or else you can see a GP or join a local self-help group. So what'd you do about it?
Well, I went to a self-help group it was 2003, 2004. It took me about 3 years to get the courage to go. That's how hard it was for me. I kept saying to myself, I'll go next week, and then next week never came. Well, it did come 3 years later. And I went to a self-help group in Bristol where it was at the time. And I made one of my best friends, Emma, out of that group. So we connected on both having the same thing, and we supported each other through it. So it's good to have someone who really understands what you're going through.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend anyone who has social anxiety to
get in a group. Do you think this happened because of your parents, or you think you were born like this? Or did something happen?
Actually, I think there's a lot of different contributing factors to it. I'm adopted, and my grandparents brought me up basically, but I see them as my parents. My real mum is called Colette. She had me when she was 18, and they couldn't cope. So
is Colette anxious?
Yeah, she is very, yeah.
Right.
And my real dad, Dave, is very anxious. Kind of, some of it is genetic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And conditioning from the environment as well. My mum being overcautious with me.
You mean your adopted mum?
My adopted mum. She used to say, be careful of this, be careful of that. So I viewed the world as an unsafe place.
The situations that trigger social anxiety include meeting new people, being the center of attention, receiving criticism, and meeting people who are in authority. Will you shut up?
I literally only told my mum about social anxiety 2 days ago.
Did she believe you? 2 days ago?
Yeah. Yeah. I really opened up to her and said, look, Mum, sorry about the way I was when I lived at home when I was in my early 20s. It was really difficult, and I found it hard to get a job. Just want to say I was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. So then she said, yeah, I knew, because she knew, and she was really worried about me. So I'd recommend for people to tell their parents about it, because they're there to help. They love you, no matter what.
I mean, does it still rise? Like you suddenly start to panic?
It does sometimes, but I just kind of laugh it off now, because it's under control. Like when I was at university the other day, I was speaking to someone, and I forgot what I was going to say. But normally I'd say, oh, you're stupid, you forgot what you're going to say. But then I was like, oh, made a joke out of it, and then just carried on.
For more information, go to anxietyuk.org.uk or socialanxiety.org.uk. Okay, bye-bye. And if you want my favorite advice, just picture somebody naked. That should make you feel less self-conscious. Of course, it depends on who you're picturing. Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.